Welcome to Grapple's Google Earth Tour. Today we'll be touring around the United States and taking a look at some of the many hazards from the atmosphere, hydrosphere, and lithosphere that have all occurred in various United States. So let's get started. For our first stop, we will be staying right here in California, so we're going to go ahead and fly on over to Ridgecrest, which is located on the west coast of North America. Okay, now that we got here, let's discuss what California is really known for. I'm not talking about its beautiful weather, I'm talking about earthquakes. In just California itself, there are more than 500 faults that are active, with around 157,000 faults. Crazy, right? Luckily for us, no big earthquakes have caused a lot of damage in the Pasadena area. But I can't say the same for Ridgecrest. As we travel through the streets of Ridgecrest, think about what kind of damage a 7.1 earthquake could do, because that is what occurred on July 5th of this year. Not only did this earthquake cause all this destruction, but it also caused about 34,000 aftershocks. So for now, it might be best if you save your trip to California till next summer. Just kidding. If you're in California, it's best to be prepared. Always have an emergency earthquake kit, a safe place for your loved ones to meet, and backup communication device such as a battery-powered radio just in case the power goes down. Now, enough of this earthquake talk. Let's move on to our next stop. We will now be flying all the way to Louisiana, which is located in the south region of the US and along the Gulf of Mexico. Ironically, Louisiana was named after the first king of France, King Louis XIV. But back to the hazards. On July 4th of this year, the day before the Ridgecrest earthquake, a hurricane known as Hurricane Barry hit the state of Louisiana. It brought 20 to 25 inches of rain and winds at 75 miles per hour. Luckily, this was just a Category 1 hurricane, so the wind speeds were not that high, but it still caused a lot of damage. Now take a look at this area. There isn't a lot of open space, so flooding could be detrimental. Unfortunately, it's very common for Louisiana to flood with all of the heavy rain they receive, so it's very important that you are properly prepared when visiting. Similar to earthquakes, an emergency kit is always necessary, but also sandbags are very useful in this type of situation. They help to absorb the water so that it doesn't enter the homes. In addition, being alert and ready when a hurricane is nearby is also something people in Louisiana should consider, because you need to know when to evacuate so that you can survive. Now for our final stop, we will be flying to Chicago, Illinois. Chicago is located in the east-north central part of North America. It also contains the largest earth-moving project to ever be completed, the Chicago River, which is the only river in the world that travels backwards and runs through different areas. While the eastern part of the United States is known as high flood risk, the city of Chicago itself is higher. For this reason, the intense rainfall that has been received through the year has impacted the city with floods. As you can see, cloudy skies are pretty common in Chicago, so you can only imagine how much rain they get. Heavy rainfall can be a good thing in California. For places with poor sewage drainage systems like Chicago, can be very bad. This is how the floods start, and if the sewage systems never get fixed, neither do the floods. Although some countries have granted access to the digital insurance rate map, which allows people to view the flood zone and flood elevation. This can definitely help stop floods, but for people who don't have access, it's important to check with local councils to see how dangerous the floods actually are and where to go from there. Thank you for coming with us on our tour, and I hope you really did have a fun trip around the United States.